Hi guys, happy Sunday. It's a beautiful day, I think. I heard it's like 55. I'm heading out soon because I gotta meet, it's 10:30, so I gotta meet my son over to the hockey rink. Ugh, I hate hockey. But whatever, yeah. I got hockey on one side and baseball on the other, and a sadness in my heart. Because if you've, I don't know if you guys know what's going on. I need to not talk forever in this message, so I'm gonna say I have a huge concern right now. And I did something and I have to accept it. If you've known me, if you've known me for a long time, you know that this is a problem with me. It's like a serious problem. And I had to make a decision because I did it one way and I was like, I'm going to share it with you now. So it's like Memorial Day and we have to make changes now. This is really important. This is the most important thing you can do in your life. It's more important than anything else, really, especially now. So there used to be an old way of doing things, and they said you should do this, that, and the other thing, but I tried something new. I was like, you know what, whatever. And I'm glad I did it. So I tried the first way. I went and I did something unconventional, and I got it, And then the other day I got this. And I was like, you know what, I don't care. This is sunscreen with glitter in it. This is sunscreen that has glitter in it. One of the things you need to know as an esthetician or in general is they tell you not to put sunscreen for the body on your face because you'll grow a tree or something. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are anymore. This has glitter in it. Glitter. Fairy herpes. You want to find out if a guy is like a jerk and you think he's like not cheating on you but with somebody else? Wear some glitter. You want to punk somebody and prank them? Cover them with glitter. Go get one of those little glitter things at the craft store and just throw it on them. What did you charge with glitter? One of the best pranks I ever pulled on my co-parent was I had a Lush bar from Lush. If you don't know Lush, you're dead to me. I'm the queen of grooming. I went to Lush and I got this bar. It was like, it's solid, but when you rub it on the warm skin, it melts because it's science. So my ex-husband was my final project at Elizabeth Grady. So I waxed his eyebrows, I did everything. And it was so weird. Miss Rossi back then got mad at us because we waxed up the top of the eyebrows. And I was like, can you not? Because when we went to Elizabeth Grady, little fun fact, they wouldn't teach us how to do the Brazilian waxes because it was unethical or whatever it was. Whatever people say. They didn't teach us how to do the Brazilian waxes. So I had to go to Catherine Hines and learn how to do that. But Elizabeth Grady hired me. And then they offered, this is what Elizabeth Grady did. This is how great they were. They hired me to work as an esthetician, which was basically a glorified sales job. So I could sell their products, which were basically relabeled products that you got at Catherine Hines. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if I'm saying this to you and you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I remember this woman, she gave me like a $40 tip one night because I did everything. And their wax was terrible. Terrible. I wanted to tell you this. In life, sometimes you have to know the truth. And the truth is, if you want to wax your whole hoo-ha, you have to know that area is warm. And if wax is too warm, it doesn't come off. And you got to use oil to get that off. 45 minutes of rubbing, it's like no fun. This is true. So this is awesome. There's 15, 30, and 50. It's got glitter. Let me see if you can see it. You see it? Glitter. So it goes on. I put it on my face right there. Oh, yeah. So no. Yep. So, oh yeah, by the way, I sent tons of friend requests. I sent friend requests to the Sylvas. I sent a friend request to Casey. I did. Because Casey's a nurse and she knows better. I sent friend requests to the spouses of people that were in that group of people that graduated in 99. I sent friend requests to a lot of people because this is my old account. And I have been walking around with two separate elements in my life. Number one, I'm a scapegoat. I am the scapegoat. I'm not I'm the. I'm the scapegoat. I'm JJ's scapegoat. I'm Nora's scapegoat. I'm like, what is this everywhere? I'm the scapegoat of like that chick from New Hampshire who's having a child custody case. I'm in a situation where people lean on me, rely on me, and depend on me for things that they need to do and they know I will do for them, but treat me like I'm a simpleton 15-year-old person when I advocate for myself. Like I advocate for myself. I'm like, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't dump your traumas on me and then don't rage at me because I'm like, I don't want to, So like one of the things, I'm going to go over this really quick before I go because I talk too much. And I'm going to make like a tree and get out of here. So what people do not know about me is that there's a couple things. I have been going to school forever and I worked my way back here. I came here on the 14th of January. I went on a settlement that day. I got a settlement. And that's all the money that I had. I was hired to work at a job in Cambridge. My boss came to an event that I paid for her to get in. Somebody gave me drinks all night, and she fired me the next day. Okay? It doesn't matter who did why. It doesn't matter who, what, where, when, how, because I don't mind. Because last year I got a job at the Y, and this woman who has the same name as the person who gave birth to me called my boss at the Y and told my boss personal items about me, and I lost the job. Yeah, I have the email and everything. I cold called them. I did everything. I did a query at the Y in Roxbury. And this woman who does an MLM and works for a major corporation called my boss and had my job removed. That's why I ended up in Salem, because my job at the Y in Roxbury was taken away. And my boss in Salem did a query on me. And one of her employees is the friend of the man who I stayed with in Quincy in December. Like, dude, it's like, this is the thing. You want to talk to me about the fact that things are like, oh, it's drama. No, it's really not, though. It's not, though. I've connected all the dots. So two things happened in the beginning of the year. I lost my job, so I went and I applied to work for Aramark. I am an Aramark employee. I get emails from them all the time. I just am not in the company, on the company payroll yet. I'm not on the payroll yet because my start date was like the 14th of March. I went through the entire process. I interviewed, I did everything. I became an Aramark employee when I came to school, but the process of getting the job was so long. Because one thing you need to know, the faster you get a job, the worse it is. I worked for a place called The Living Room, and I worked there, and I went to work there because I was hired right away, and I did the co-check. I worked for The Living Room from like January to May, and my manager, she was like nice to me, and then she raged at me one day, and then she like pulled the owner in and was like, she's doing a bad job, and I was like, you are two different people. But I left The Living Room in May, and I worked for the gym in East Boston, the Boston Beacon Hill Athletic Club. I worked there. And one of the trainers, Ian, told my boss that one of his clients was being harassed by me. That was my manager at The Living Room. Katrina, whatever her name is. And then she showed up at Hex. I was working with somebody at Hex last year, and she walked in, and she goes, you got any magnets? And I'm like, you're way far away from East Boston, lady. So when I came to school, I had two problems going on at the same time, socially. I had two people in my life that we were the disaster squad. They were having like conferences about me. They were talking about me. I'm not shooting my horn. I was hearing from either side of them. Nora was texting me all the time, talking to me about the fact that I needed to not work out because JJ was worried about my working out. August of last year, I took an exam. I got an 85, and I have a card that says I'm a personal trainer. I can charge you $75 an hour if I want to. Why is it a man who works in a supermarket who didn't get a degree at a university that was for profit talking about my exercise habits? She was telling him that I was like emotionally like not healing or getting over a person who I don't understand. This is the person has a role. All the person needs to do is talk to me about the fact that I had a concern about one of his employees. Because I'll tell you what, if you and I like hang out and you don't go with me and you go with someone else, I gracefully bow out and leave. Because I blocked everybody and told everybody stuff. I got an email and like, I don't know. I could find out when it was. No, a text message at one point. I got a text message from a guy. I didn't know who he was. And I remembered I went to the Wonder Bar last year. And I'm at the Wonder Bar talking to the bartender at the Wonder Bar. It's just awesome. And this guy walks up to me, this big, hairy, smelly, disgusting man who like had bad breath and a braid in his beard. And he asked me to go to his apartment and smoke and drink whiskey. Like the definition of not my type, like the type of not my type. You know what I mean? Like I have a type and that's not it. But whatever. But then on the other side, like I was getting messages from JJ continually about the fact that I was making a financial mistake because of my student loans. I was listening to someone incessantly text me about student loan and student loan debt and Bessie DeVos way after I said stop. So I right here, I got this going on right here with the student loans. I got this going on with she's telling me stuff he's saying. He's telling me stuff she's saying. I'm like, are we 5? What are we doing? And then one day, because they would constantly ask me to go out, like, come out. I'm like, no. Because back in January, before I moved here, I was in a homeless shelter called Bristol Lodge. And when you're in a homeless shelter, you have a curfew. You can't leave the homeless shelter. So when I'm in there at night, after 4 o'clock, I can't leave or I lose my bed. So Friday night, I'm laying in bed, and I get a message. You want to come to Ex Modus? Please come to Ex Modus. You can crash. And I'm like, can you not? Can you not? Really? Yeah. So on the flip side, and I'm also getting this JJ person is telling me I really need to come out because I got to get over things. You got to get over it. And I'm sitting, in that moment, I go, you think these people that work here, if they talk to me and we talked about it and like discussed the fact that if any of this stuff came out, like that building has like a problem from 2018, like there's a problem in 2018 in there. Had someone just talked to me, we would have like squashed it. But no. I didn't say the words. I do not, for the life of me, understand. I'm dealing with, like, this community, the one that I'm talking about, they're peanuts. It's like nothing. I'm dealing with, like, the death of a person who nobody knows he died, who his wife swiftly cremated him, and her grandson did a Google search last Wednesday looking for his obituary. Because in 2009, I went to the police department in the community I grew up in and filed a police report about abuse, elder abuse. I called the police in her community, and I was retaliated against. Yeah, one of the things that you deal with in domestic violence is retaliation. They cause chaos, and they force you to have to set boundaries in like some weird double bind thing. So you have to take care of yourself and set boundaries. And when you do, they punish you for setting boundaries. I never for the life of me understood how a person can be so controlling of your behavior and controlling of the outcome. I got a message at one point from a person who was like, you need to stop. And I was like, but do I though? Do I? I am living a nightmare because of these people. I'm not talking. I'm not saying anything. Why are you telling me I need to stop? And you won't talk to me. I'll stop if you talk to me. Yeah. I'll stop if you talk to me. I need to stop. Why? If you were going to badmouth me and you were going to slander me, you're going to say I'm some sort of a turd Ferguson figure, why would I care what you think? Why would I even 1 second entertain a thought in my mind that it might bother you that I'm going to advocate for myself? Like, can someone explain this to me? One of the issues that I had going on in this whole thing was that people were doing cocaine. Cocaine. If you are doing cocaine at this point in this time period in life, because I sat in a courtroom for 6 hours and I heard like coke, and I was like, oh my God. It is not 1979. You are not hanging out with Andy Warhol. It's not Studio 54. It will age you. It will damage your body. What are you doing? I heard the words, do you have any coke? And I'm like, can I not be here? And like, this is the end of the video. If you're here with me, you've been here for a long time. I had a conversation with somebody who talked about the effects of coke on the male genitals. And I was like, if that's the effects of coke on the male genitals, you're not doing coke. No, you're not doing that. That's not happening. The plot thickens. So I gotta go because I gotta see a kid about a thing. So if anybody knows what happened to my dad, I'll go over it really quickly. You know what? I'm here now. All right. So I moved in with my parents in 2010 because they wanted to take care of me. That's what they said. So from 2010 to 2015, January 27, 2015, I lived with my parents. She took 50% of my income. So I had income from the government. She took 50% of my income. I was on the lease the whole time. lived in Waltham, and then we lived in Woburn. And when we moved, we found probably 15 empty gallon bottles of Gallo and White Zinfandel. The whole time I was there, she was taking money from them to pay off loans she took forbearances on. In 2014, she had hip surgery. Dr. Ray put her on medication, which she got off later. Dr. Ray took care of my dad, my Nana, and my mother. And then she had knee surgery. And all through 2014, I took care of both of them. I was their PCA. And on Thanksgiving Day, I went and I drank some wine and stuff. I drank on Thanksgiving Day because it was a holiday, and I never had a chance to do that. And I didn't eat. So it affected me more. So, I don't know, a couple weeks later, they had an intervention with me about my alcohol problem. And I was like, wow. So I said to them, I was like, I go to a therapist at Harvard Vanguard. Do you want to go with me? And they said, yeah. So I told my therapist, and she goes, no way. She goes, they're not coming in here. That's not ethical. They're going to come in here and they're going to railroad you. And I was like, okay. I told them, they didn't believe me. Dr. Ray had been taking care of my mother. I was like, can we have I scheduled a family meeting, and my mother wouldn't go. I finally organized it so everybody could go to a family meeting on New Year's Eve at like 5 o'clock. Everybody who was available. Except someone had to go to an Airbnb and then to the Twilight Lounge for a New Year's thing and said no. And I moved out on the 27th of January. The day of my son's first communion, they took my father to St. Charles Church and made him walk up the back stairs. I got a phone call on the way to the church that my father couldn't go to the bathroom. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. And I was like, I can't help you. I was like a teacher. I was a CCD teacher for his second grade class. And I was on the road from Janvers to Woburn, and I got a phone call that she couldn't come, and he was like, I don't know. If you know us, you know about my father and about his toileting. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to embarrass my father on the internet. I'm not, because everybody else did. They shamed him so bad. Billy saw my father one time walk into Nana's apartment in Medford next to St. Joe's, and he made fun of my dad in front of my brother. He made a joke. Billy insulted my father in a way that was mean. When I was living with them, towards the end of my time with them, Billy decided he had a change of mind and wanted to be close to my dad. So he asked to take my dad to see the Three Stooges movie. They want to go to go get a beer and see a movie. I was like, do you understand what it's like to take a disabled person to a movie? First of all, he doesn't go to movies. He can't go to movies. I'll get to that in a minute. So 2000, I don't know. So we tried. So 2015, the first communion. She says, I go, don't bring him. Just bring him to the Century House after. Oh, no, I will not miss my grandson's first communion. So they brought him in the regular entrance, not the handicap entrance. He hurt his back, and he had to go back down those stairs. And somebody made a comment that I looked tan. Oh, you going tanning? I was like, no. I was going 3 times a week to Union Hospital to have light therapy because I get psoriasis. I saw my parents at Uncle John's funeral. At Uncle John's funeral in Bedford. Ready? This is what happened. I'm leaving the funeral, and my father says to me, I have not seen these people in months. He says, you need to stop being so mean to your mother, your brother, and your sister. And I'm like, what? So I was hitting the face, and the gut, and the heart. My father, from the time in January when I left to November, my father was being told that he was being abused, that they were being abused. My mother and my siblings were telling my father I was abusing them. And I'm off in Danvers. I'm at the Crane Estate. Everything's online. I went to leave, and Rosemary blocked me from leaving the funeral home. I'm sobbing. I'm having a PTSD symptom. She blocks me from leaving the funeral home. And she pulls my sibling over to me. After she tells me that they go up to New Hampshire to see my Uncle John and his family as he's dying. And my brother tells everyone there that I disassociated myself from the family. I was like, wow. And then the next day I talked to him, and he goes, I love you and I want to help you. I heard the words, I love you and I want to help you on November 10th of 2015. Next time I spoke to that person, I sent him a number of emails and asked him for help. And I'm here. Last thing I ever said in an email to that person was, I will never talk to you again. I set a boundary. I got a phone call or text message in October when I was working at Hex and Omen that my father died. It was the 12th. We went to O'Neill's that night to tell Louie. No details. But my ex-husband apologized to me. He goes, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was. I'm sorry. I was like, are you? I've spent you guys, like, people talk about drama, people talk about whatever. Anybody says the word drama. I just posted this benign narcissist video. Anybody that does not react to adult, not like sexy adult situations, the way a proper adult should, they are a benign narcissist. No adult is going to face legal, financial, family, social, medical, or any other situation from the vantage point of a 15-year-old person. I decided to go dancing for a number of months to let off a little steam and have some fun because I have like not a lot going on in my life. And I have dealt with the most toxic, juvenile, benign, narcissistic, playground, bully, schoolyard behavior I have ever seen in my life. Problem is, I know everything means. I know what it means if I talk about this situation because it's got ties to like stuff in 2018. I know what it means we talk about this person. I know that if someone gets fired from a job for no reason and they go and they, if someone like portrays himself as a certain type of person and they get fired from a job and they're blamed, nothing better than being an outsider. I went to an event one time. It was a class. I went to a class one time and I was allowed to go for free because the person knew I was poor. Person helped me out later. And I, for the life of me, do not understand for 1 second how I never saw anything that was said. But I went there and I didn't know who this person was. So I had virgin eyes. And I talked to this person and this person made a comment about my coat. Thought it was nice. And I was able to make an opinion about this person based on my own experience. And now I have to think of this person every day. I have to think of this person every single day. Oh, it's empty. Oh, it's empty. I have to think of this person every day because I'm looking. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. I'm really sorry about what I did with that, by the way. It's a sin. And if anybody else is like thinking about sinning, your sin, I'm sorry too. Because I'm not the worst. Because I have like the age I am at right now, these behaviors are outliers, they'll go away. I have a 12-year-old son that I love very much. And my rights were taken away. But I made a choice a long time ago. My rights don't matter. He's the most important thing. I know it's important in life. Sometimes in life you have to play nice. Sometimes in life you have to lay down with monsters. That's what you have to do. My father used to drive me around when I was a teenager. My father's famous last phrase always was, "A moment of pleasure can bring you a lifetime of pain." Joe Sylva used to drive me around. Said, "A moment of pleasure will bring you a lifetime of pain." He taught me to drive. Took me to a Celtics game. I sat on the floor. And I got an ice cream and it was melted. It spilled on my Celtics jacket. I don't know if you know what it's like to spill ice cream on your hand. It's gross. I wouldn't know because I didn't work at Bedford Farms. I'm not bitter. I'm not mad at the Venutis. I just don't like them. That's all. I think they're a bunch of fake people. I'd say it to their face. That's fine. The Lewis? Yeah. I think about the people that were close to my family. The Panadosis, the Lewis. The Wallings. Yeah, let's talk to Carol Walling, see where she is. Where's Carol Walling? Carol's a nurse. Yeah, Carol's a nurse. I used to babysit for them. I babysat for the Wallings all through my babysitting career. I babysat for everybody. I watched The Next Generation in everybody's houses with they had no cable. I watched The Next Generation. Suzanne and Addie, I was her babysitter. Susan and Jimmy. But the biggest like question of all of them is how the Kennedys, like I'd like to talk to them. Their daughter's a nurse practitioner. She worked at a school where my friend Barbara's grandkids went. When I lived in Danvers, my friend Barbara, her grandkids went to that school. She became a nurse because she wanted to be just like my mother because my mother was her idol. Somebody would explain to me how this person who became a nurse, based on like the great pillar of the community that was my mother. Because if you want to be just like that woman, you got to be just like her in general. My father one night was eating, and my mother used to put like bibs on him, and like she like, first of all, she couldn't sit with him when he ate because he makes me sick. Okay. So I sat with him, I ate with him all the time. And she yelled and screamed at him, calling him a rotten pig. I asked for help and I got nothing. I thought at that moment, that was the one moment in my life that I thought it was going to be over. I'm like, that's it. We got her on abuse. Nope. She did. Officer Amy Rando in Wakefield. Yeah. She wouldn't listen to me. Officer Amy Rando. The family officer. For some reason, you haven't talked to them in 2 years. How do you know? If I go to, if I commit a crime and they take me to court 3 years later, they're going to use evidence of that origin point. How does the police officer ask me if I don't know if something's continuing to happen, if it happened all the time 2 years ago? Think about this for a second. In the legal system, it takes a long, long time. If you commit a crime today, you may not go to trial for it for 5 or 6 years. So what is law enforcement doing asking you if you can't remember, if you didn't see something for 2 years, how do you know it happens? Got a lot of questions. You know what? I've been talking for 26 minutes. I gotta go. I'm gonna keep talking until I don't have to talk anymore. My biggest fantasy is to sit on the beach and not talk all day. That's my biggest fantasy. But I got miles to go before I sleep. I'd like to know what happened to my dad. I'd like to know where we should put his ashes. That's all. Should we go to Reed State Park? What should we do? I'd like to know why the fact that my whole entire extended family has not met my son yet. You want to rage on me? Rage all day. You do not rage on my 12-year-old son. When I gave birth to my son, my mother came to visit, my father came to visit, Leanna came to visit, Greg came to visit, Kim and Carol and what's her name? Kim, Carol, and Sam came to visit, and Marie and Lou came to visit. 2 people did not come to visit Lou when he was born. How do you like that? 2 grown adults had enough hatred in their hearts that they took it out on a newborn baby. And my son was born at Beth Israel Hospital, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. When you give birth to a baby at Beth Israel Hospital, you get to take them on a tour of Fenway Park when they're 5. We didn't do that, though. You know why? Because my son won a tour of Fenway Park before he was 5. He won the Go Pass, this kid. Somewhere in my youth and childhood, I must have done something good. Really. Because you know what? I don't care what anybody says about me. That human being is an extraordinary person. I'm not tooting my horn. If you've met him, you know. And if you are related to him by DNA and you don't know, shame. Or not, I don't care. Nobody holds grudges. Grudges and hatred age you. Abusive, toxic behaviors age you. Drugs and alcohol age you. Gossip ages you. Rage and ages you. But you know what? What do I know? I just put sunscreen on my face. Thanks for the body. It's got glitter in it. What do I know? I'm just Jules. All right. Namaste. Amo Fati. Compassion, mindfulness, loving kindness, radical acceptance. Alma Fati. Namaste. Have a peaceful day. It's coffee time. Love you.